Hey folks, I'm just reading a nice comic book, World's Finest, number 189 from November 1969, and in it, it's a rather good stories, of course, where Superman gets killed and his super heart is being given to Batman, but that doesn't actually pan out like that in the end. But there's a little quiz inside, a 20-question quiz, all based on the Golden Age. Test your Golden Age IQ. How well do you fans know the heroes of the 1940s, the so-called Golden Age of comics? Here are 20 questions about the super-doers of yesteryear. See how many you can answer, then turn the page upside down to read the correct answers. I'm going to do that bit for you, but first I'm going to give you the 20 questions and then I'll give you the answers at the end. What you can do now, you can either put your answers in the comments or you can get a sheet of paper, write 1 to 20 on it and give your best guesses and let me know what you get at the end. So, first question. Hop Harrigan, America's ace of the airways, starred in comics, on radio and in a movie serial. What was the name of his rotund, red-haired mechanic? Write your answer down and I will tell you the answer at the end. Let's move on to question 2. DC had 2 super speedsters in the old days, the Flash and Johnny Quick. What power did Johnny have that the Flash lacked? Put down your answer. Let's go to question 3. Brooklyn, Alfie, Jan and Andre were 4 teenagers who battled the Axis during World War II. By what name was the group known? Who commanded them? So that's 2 questions for you there. Write down your answers and we'll move on to question 4. Just have a guess if you don't know. No less than 17 heroes were active in the Justice Society of America at one time or another. Can you recall at least 10 of them? So that's 10 superhero names to be written down. I'll give you a bit of time before I move on to the next one, or you can just pause the video for a bit if you like. I'm going to move on to question 5 now. Best of luck. Who spoke this oath? And I shall shed my light over dark evil, for the dark things cannot stand the light of... Put your answer on your piece of paper, or in the comment section. Number 6. In its 2 appearances, the Injustice Society had 11 different members. Can you name 5? So write down 5 names, and move on to question 7. Which of the Injustice Society members double-crossed the others? Why? So there you go. That's your 7th question on the Golden Age. Write down your answer. Pause if you need to. I'm about to move on to question 8. What youthful assistants aided these heroes? Sandman, Shining Knight, Vigilante, The Guardian, Johnny Thunder. So basically, who was Robin to their Batman? Write the names down and let's move on to question 9. Which teenage hero had a grown assistant? What was the sidekick's name? That's quite an interesting one. If you know the answer, write it down now. We're approaching the midway part. Question 10 coming up now. At one time, most heroes had humorous helpers for comedy relief. Who were the funny friends of the original Flash, Wonder Woman, Mr. America, Green Lantern, the Spectre? There you go, we're halfway through. Write down those names if you know them, or take a wild guess. And we'll get on to the second half of the quiz, starting with question 11. Which heroes had these animal aids? A flying horse named Winged Victory, an owl named Hootie, a parrot called Static, an octopus named Topo, a hawk called Big Red. Write down your answers to those animal related questions. Let's go on to number 12. What 2 heroes used atomic energy in the early 1940s before the first atomic bomb was exploded? Right, question 13. Will this one be lucky or unlucky for you? Right, we've got a few more names to write down here. What hero battled the Thinker, the Mist, the Dummy, the Huntress, the Cavalier? And there's a different answer for each one. It's not all just one hero battled all of them. They all have their own particular hero adversary. So write down the names of who you think fought the Thinker, the Mist, the Dummy, the Huntress, the Cavalier. Question 14. What were the other identities of these heroes? Tex Thomson, Terry Sloan, Libby Lawrence, Al Pratt, Wesley Dodds. So what were their superhero names? What hero strip was replaced by one starring his sister? Usurped from his own title and replaced by his own sister, but who was that hero? What villain got his name from the day he was spawned in the depths of a swamp? Do you know the answer? Because we're moving on to number 17 now. Which hero, blind by day, could see in the dark? Put your answer in the comments or on your paper. We're getting right close to the end now. 18. What hero inspired Wildcat to adopt a secret crime fighting identity? Write down your answer and we'll move on. Who wore the motto "Fair Play" on his costume? Do you know the answer? Who wore the motto "Fair Play" on his costume? And here we go, the very, very last question. What two heroes, originally clad in business suits and masks, later switched to colourful skin-tight costumes like most other heroes wore? What two heroes, originally clad in business suits and masks, later switched to colourful skin-tight costumes like most other heroes wore? That's your last question. Write it down. We're going to move on to the answers now. So hopefully you're going to make a little list and you're going to check your answers and let me know how many points you got at the end of the in the comments down below. So here we go then. Question 1. Hop Harrigan, America's ace of the airways, starred in comics, on radio and in a movie serial. What was the name of his rotund, red-haired mechanic? Here comes the answer. He was called Tank Tinker. Question 2. DC had two super speedsters in the old days, the Flash and Johnny Quick. What power did Johnny have that the Flash lacked? And the answer is, he could fly. Alright, did you get that one right? Here's question 3. Brooklyn, Alfie, Jan and Andre were 4 teenagers who battled the Axis during World War II. By what name was the group known? Who commanded them? They were, of course, the Boy Commandos, commanded by Rip Carter. Question 4. No less than 17 heroes were active in the Justice Society of America at one time or another. Can you recall at least 10 of them? Well, here's all 17. Check your answers. Let me know how many you got right. So they are the Atom, Batman, Black Canary, Dr. Fate, Dr. Mid-Nite, The Flash, Green Lantern, Hawkman, Hourman, Johnny Thunder, Mr. Terrific, Sandman, The Spectre, Starman, Superman, Wildcat and Wonder Woman. That's the 17 heroes that made up the Justice Society of America. Were you able to remember 10 of them? Number 5. Who spoke this oath? And I shall shed my light over dark evil, for the dark things cannot stand the light of the Green Lantern. Of course it is, the Green Lantern. Right, question 6. In its 2 appearances, the Injustice Society had 11 different members. Can you name 5? They are the Wizard, the Brainwave, Vandal Savage, Degaton, the Thinker, the Gambler, the Icicle, the Huntress, the Sportsmaster, the Fiddler, the Harlequin. Did you know 5 of those? Which of the Injustice Society members double-crossed the others? Why? Do you know the answer to this one? You're about to? The Harlequin. She was in love with Green Lantern and she later turned out to be a police undercover agent. So there you go. Question 8. What youthful assistants aided these heroes? Sandman, Shining Knight, Vigilante, The Guardian, Johnny Thunder. And the answers are: Sandman had Sandy, Shining Knight had Sir Butch, Vigilante had Stuff the Chinatown Kid, The Guardian had the Newsboy Legion, and Johnny Thunder had Peachy Pet, Johnny's adopted daughter. Did you know any of those? Question 9. Which teenage hero had a grown assistant? What was the sidekick's name? And the answer to this one is Star Spangled Kid and Stripesy. Moving on to question 10. At one time, most heroes had humorous helpers for comedy relief. Who were the funny friends of the original Flash, Wonder Woman, Mr. America, Green Lantern, the Spectre? And the answers are Winky, Blinky and Noddy for the Flash, Etta Candy for Wonder Woman, Fat Man for Mr. America, Doiby Dickles for Green Lantern, and Percival Popp, the Super Cop, for the Spectre. Which heroes had these animal aids? A flying horse named Winged Victory, an owl named Hootie, a parrot called Static, an octopus named Topo, a hawk called Big Red. Here's the answers. Shining Knight had the Winged Victory, Hootie belonged to Dr. Mid-Nite, the parrot Static was with Airways, Aquaman of course had an octopus named Topo, and the hawk Big Red was a friend to Hawkman. What two heroes used atomic energy in the early 1940s before the first atomic bomb was exploded? The answer to that? TNT and Dan the Dynamite. Question 13. Was this one unlucky for you, or did you know the answers? What hero battled the Thinker, the Mist, the Dummy, the Huntress, the Cavalier? The answers are: the Flash fought the Thinker, Starman fought the Mist, the Dummy was an enemy of Vigilante, Wildcat fought the Huntress, and Batman fought the Cavalier. Number 14. What were the other identities of these heroes? Tex Thomson, Terry Sloan, Libby Lawrence, Al Pratt, Wesley Dodds. And the answers to that: Tex Thomson is Mr. America, the American Commando. Mr. Terrific is Terry Sloan. Libby Lawrence is Liberty Bell. The Atom is also known as Al Pratt. And Wesley Dodds is the Sandman. What hero strip was replaced by one star and his sister? It was Star Spangled Kid. His sister was called Mary. What villain got his name from the day he was spawned in the depths of a swamp? Solomon Grundy, Green Lantern's monster foe. When he first appeared, he only knew that he was born on Monday. Which hero, blind by day, could see in the dark? Dr. Mid-Nite. What hero inspired Wildcat to adopt a secret crime-fighting identity? The answer to that is Green Lantern. Who wore the motto "Fair Play" on his costume? The answer to this is Mr. Terrific. Now, the modern day Mr. Terrific, he also has "Fair Play" written on his costume. Michael Holt, I think his name is. He also has "Fair Play" written on his costume as well, so you might have been able to get that from knowing the modern character. And finally, what two heroes, originally clad in business suits and masks, later switched to colourful skin-tight costumes like most other heroes wore? And the answer is the Crimson Avenger and Sandman. Well, cheers for doing this quiz. Put your answers down below. Let me know how many you got right. Or if you put your answers in the comments, you could do that as well. And let me know if you've enjoyed this, and I'll see if I can find some more quizzes to put on the channel sometime in the future. Cheers for watching. Bye.